Story time about how my holiday romance cheated on his girlfriend of 4 years with me. Just a little side note to say that I obviously had no idea that this boy was in a relationship and I was completely blindsided. So this takes place in 2024 when I went on my first girls' holiday to Zante. We were there from the end of July into the end of June into the start of July. Also, I have no idea if him or his girlfriend follow me on any of my socials, so I'm going to be keeping it respectful and I'm not going to be mentioning anybody's names. So I believe this took place on a Sunday, on the 30th of July, which was when Zante hosts a huge event called the White Party. Me and the girls had only been in Zante for 3 days at this point and we hadn't attended any events, so we were all really, really excited. We got dressed up and we headed to the event. I specifically remember that at about 9 o'clock, half of the girls decided that they wanted to head back to the hotel, so it ended up just being me and 2 of the other girls. Originally, there was 7 of us, and there ended up being 3 of us, so it made it a lot easier to get into the crowd and closer to the main stage. So that is exactly what we did. So me and these 2 girls are deep in the crowd, close to the front, and we're literally just dancing, minding our own business, and it was a really good time. Then out of the corner of my eye, I see these 2 boys and they are looking over. Do you know when like someone's looking over as if to kind of initiate a conversation without saying anything? That's what they were doing. So I sort of smiled and they both came over and did the whole introducing themselves, "You're really pretty," introduction that literally every boy in Zante does. So one of the boys, we're going to call him A, took an interest to me, so we're just in the crowd dancing, having a good time and talking. Obviously at this point I'm not even thinking to ask, "Have you got a girlfriend?" He literally had his hands around my waist and was dancing with me and flirting with me, so I'm going to assume he's single. To be honest, I don't even think it was a thought in my head if he was in a relationship or not, because obviously a man in a relationship should not be dancing with another woman. So obviously I was having a good time, and I remember the 2 girls that I was with were on picture and video duty, you know, capturing the moment for the memories. And I actually got a picture taken with him on my digital camera, which I will insert now, but obviously I'm gonna keep his face covered for his privacy reasons. So fast forward to the end of the event when everyone jumps in the pool and goes crazy. I ask A if he wants to go in the pool with me and he says yes, so that's what we do. And at the end of the White Party event, they set off this absolutely massive firework display, and the second that we got into the pool, the fireworks started going off and he picked me up and he kissed me, and I just remember like in that moment feeling like, I don't know, I was in a fucking film. In my head, it was like a movie moment, and I was obviously completely oblivious to the lying, cheating little rat that was kissing me. I actually remember going to this food place after the White Party was over, and I made a little vlog on my digital camera of the night, and I talk exactly about what happened. However, I'm unable to get the footage onto my phone. I don't know why. It's really annoying, but I basically say everything that I've just told you. Oh, I also completely forgot to mention that when the event was over and we got out of the pool, I looked at him and I said, like, "Are you not going to ask for my Instagram or my Snapchat?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't use Instagram, but here's my Snapchat." So we exchanged Snapchats, but I remember thinking it was really weird that he didn't use Instagram. So anyways, I left the event with my friends and he starts texting me asking if I'm going out, what I'm doing after, and by this point I was in bed in my hotel room. So then he's messaging me saying, "Well, come down to the beach and meet me like right now and we can talk some more." And at this point I think it was like 4 a.m. maybe, and I was like, absolutely not, I'm going to sleep. I also specifically remember saying to him that if he wanted to see me, he could just wait until tomorrow, and I don't remember what excuse he made, but he said that he couldn't. So obviously the little scumbag just wanted to I woke up the next morning and he had removed me off of Snapchat, and I was so confused and honestly a little bit hurt, because it just felt like because I didn't like sleep with him. Basically, he had removed me. But I shrugged it off and I enjoyed the rest of my holiday. So after that, I never really thought about him or spoke about him again until 4 months later. So I got a random DM on my Instagram from this girl that I'd never spoken to before saying, "Hey girly," and I was like, shit. She asked me if I knew who her boyfriend was, and I was like, yeah, I do. I got with him in Zante a couple of months ago. Why? And she was like, he's my boyfriend of 4 years. I've had several messages of girls over the past couple of weeks telling me that they'd slept with him, that they'd kissed him, and that he'd been cheating on me. And to say I was shell-shocked would be an understatement. I then click on her profile and I see a post that she made with him, and I think it was from like 2 or 3 years prior, so I knew that they'd been together for a long time. She told me that she'd had several messages of other girls, and the reason that she was able to find my Instagram was because she was going through his phone and found me in his recent searches on Instagram. Even though he doesn't have Instagram, I just remember receiving that message and the gut-wrenching feeling that came along with it. Like, I felt so bad. Like, obviously it wasn't my fault, but the guilt was just, ugh. So we messaged for a bit and she asked me what happened. So I told her the truth, I told her everything that happened, and I sent her pictures for proof that he was with me. And I remember her messaging me and saying that while she was texting me, he was asleep next to her and they were on holiday together, and she was gonna break up with him in the morning, and she was so heartbroken. And I was obviously like profusely apologizing, advising her and just trying to make her feel better about the whole situation. The worst part about all of this is he's actually in a TikTok video. You know how people in Zante do like interviews with the microphones? He's in a video at the white party, I'm assuming earlier on in the day before I'd met him, doing an interview with a guy, and he gets set up with another girl in the crowd, and his girlfriend sent it to me on Instagram when we were talking about what had happened, and I was genuinely in freaking shock. The video is still up on TikTok, I'm pretty sure, so if you find it, nothing to do with me. So a few days go by and I don't speak with her before I realise that I have been blocked on Instagram and social media by her. But yeah, that pretty much concludes my story time. I have absolutely no idea if either of these people follow me on social media or see my videos, and I have no idea if they're still together. For her sake, I really hope they're not still together and that she dumped this, but I'm assuming she didn't, at least not when I told her, because she blocked me. So I'm not going to put any products on my lips just because I'm about to go scran. But yeah, that's the end of my video. If you don't have anything nice to say, please don't comment at all. And I wish that girl all the best. Peace.
It's finally time for me to tell the story about how my ex-wife cheated on me with my hairstylist. So I was 22 when we met and started dating, and she was 31. She lied to me about how old she was. Actually, she put that her age on the dating app was 29, and I like made comments about it a lot because of like a number. It's like an inside joke. And then after a couple weeks, she was like, "Hey, actually, I'm actually 31. I put that on there because I figured if I said that I was over 30, then a lot of people would have capped their age limit at that, and I like wanted to make sure that I could actually meet people." And I was like, I wasn't bothered by it, but thinking back on it, I'm like, that's a little weird. So she was like fresh out of a long-term relationship, and so of course in like gay fashion we moved really fast, and we probably should have held off on that, but we both expressed that we had like really strong feelings for each other. She did try to stop seeing me at one point because she was like, "I feel too strongly for you and I don't think I'm ready for that." And I was like, okay, absolutely, I totally understand. And then literally within hours after I left, she texted me and was like, "Hey, actually, I take it back." And then a couple of weeks later, she was like, "Will you be my girlfriend?" And I was like, "Are you sure you want me to be your girlfriend? Because you literally tried to like dump me a couple weeks ago." And she was like, "No, for real." So we started dating, we got engaged, we got married. So we were dating and engaged for 2.5 years, and then we got married in 2020. And in this time, also know that she is technically a musician. she was like in a semi-popular band like back in her day, but now she's kind of washed up, and she had this like really embarrassing band that she was trying to kind of like, you know, get big with or whatever, and it wasn't really working out. And so she kept kind of going back and forth between being like, you know what, I'm ready to settle down, this music thing, just like I can't keep doing it like this, like I'm ready to have a career, I'm ready to have a family. And then she would be like, no, I'm not done being a musician yet, I'm not done touring, like I want to have that moment or whatever. And on top of this, she also was kind of weird about like wanting to tour and wanting to go play shows without me being present. And we had some issues where I kind of felt like she was maybe being a little like flirty with people. Now granted, I had some issues with being codependent and like kind of overthinking things like that, so I think it was a bit of a combination of both, where I was being a little bit insecure, but she also at some point would say things like, you know, it's kind of like part of my job and like part of the whole thing, I have to like engage with people and kind of like, you know, maybe get like comfortable or with women. Okay, regardless of this, we get married, really start settling in hardcore. We had multiple houses. She was like decently well off. She had like a good career. I was only working part-time, so I was basically kind of like a like stay-at-home wife. Like I was taking care of like all of the household stuff, blah blah blah. We started a business together at one point. Like things were very serious, and we were like, okay, like we want to have a family. Like we were gonna start trying to have a baby. In the midst of all this, she drank a little bit too much. I definitely think she was an alcoholic, kind of like off and on, like when I met her and probably like before I met her. But as we were together, she definitely got better, but she was very much like at least one drink a day kind of person, more like two. And she would express, she'd be like, man, I really need to stop drinking so much. And so she would be like, can you like make sure that I don't drink tonight? And so I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like I can be supportive of that. Like I was always waiting for her to come to me to like, you know, recognize those things. And so she would call them off nights. And so she'd be like, okay, like I'm going to have an off night. And then a couple hours later, I would hear her like open a beer, and I'd be like, hey baby, like remember you said you're not drinking tonight? And she'd be like, oh my God, it's like just one, like it's fine. So I was like, all right, I'm not playing that game with you. Like you were the one that set this expectation and you're backing out of it. So like, sure, whatever. But when she would talk about it and she'd be like, do you think that this is like an issue? Or like, do you think that maybe I should stop doing this? I'd be like, yeah, absolutely. She also took stimulants recreationally that were not prescribed to her, which we've all been there. But I mean, it was like multiple times a week, like at least once or twice a week. And sometimes she'd be hitting it a little bit harder. And then she started gambling. So when sports betting became super accessible through like apps and stuff, oh my God, it was all downhill from there. So she wasn't the kind of person who would bet like, she's like, oh, I've got a good feeling about this, I'm gonna bet like $50 on it. She was convinced that she could like game the system. And so she would hedge her bets, which is illegal. I think she got banned from a couple of apps, or like got, you know, like warnings because they could see what was happening. And so she would like bet on multiple things. She would have timers set for when certain games ended so that she could go and check and see who won, and then bet like the other way to like compensate for it. And in particular, there was this one method that she thought was like foolproof that she had figured out. So we have all of our friends over, and we're watching like a basketball game, and she's done this thing where she's like, okay, like even if they lose, if I do this enough times, I'm gonna make my money back, and then like a little bit on top. And then it kind of started going sideways, and then she started panicking. Within a couple of hours, she lost $15,000. Like had $15,000 in like checking and like a couple savings account and like across the other apps. She cleared all of that out. She lost $15,000. So then, of course, she is devastated. So she gets really drunk and walks up and down our neighborhood, like crying, freaking out, like talking about how she has a problem and like all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's not great, but like, it's okay. We'll figure it out. So of course she's like, okay, gonna start drinking less, gonna start doing Adderall less, gonna stop gambling. So I try to be supportive. We like set parameters around this, and of course it's like a little difficult for her because like she's just used to like having those things to like entertain her, like you know how like addicts are. So in the midst of this, she tells me, she's like, hey, I know that we're like literally weeks away from starting like the process of like getting pregnant, but I think we need to hold off on it. And I was like, it's not my favorite. I was like, we really nailed down the timeline. I was kind of like married to the idea, but the last thing I want to do is like, have a kid when you're not ready and have you resent that. Like, that's totally not fair. So I was a little upset, but I was like, I'll get over it. Like, you're totally right. Like, let's talk about, like 6 months from now. And so we went from there. So she's a few weeks into trying to not like drink as much. She's not gambling, we go to a birthday party for one of my friends who happens to be my hairstylist. Now, I wasn't the closest with this girl, but I was like really good friends with some of her really good friends. So that's kind of how we like linked up and we started getting closer. She was poly and she was like going through this like situationship thing. And so we would talk about that. Like we were getting close. And so we go to her birthday party. We'll call her Linda. So we go to Linda's birthday party and it turns out like we all like had mutual friends. Like we were all like talking, hanging out, whatever. And as we're leaving, my wife says to me, I think Linda and her girlfriend were like kind of hitting on me. And I was like, that's weird because like you and Linda barely talked. And like I went to the bathroom with Linda and her girlfriend and they made a weird move on me. But like they didn't really talk to you guys at all. Like, so that's a weird take, but okay. So some time goes by and then I see that like Linda and my wife are talking on Instagram, which is like completely fine. Like they're both into sports and I was just like, oh, cool, whatever. I think we hung out like as a group, like maybe a couple times after that. And everything was like completely normal. So I'm getting ready with some of my other friends. Like we're all getting ready to go out and meet up. Like my wife is somewhere else. And so I text her, I'm like, hey, we're going to be here at like such and such time. And she's like, okay, cool. So-and-so and Linda are coming. And I was like, oh, sweet. I was like, hell yeah. So I mentioned this to my friends. I'm like, oh my God, guys, guess what? Like Linda's going to be there too. Like, yay. And my friend says to me, she's like, oh my God, Linda was just telling me the other day how she like had such a good time hanging out with your wife last week. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, last Friday, Linda said that she and your wife like went out for drinks or whatever. And I was like, huh. This was the same night that my wife told me that she went to go pick up like her beer club thing and then went to hang out with her friend Dustin, who she had started getting like really into seeing suddenly. Yeah. I call my wife and I'm like, hey, what's this about you and Linda hanging out that night that you said you were with Dustin? And she was like, oh my God, don't freak out. And I was like, I'm going to freak out. So I tell her, I'm like, we're going to be there in like 5 minutes. You're smoked. And then I call Linda and I'm like, hey girl, what's up with this? And she was like, yeah, we did hang out. Like, you didn't know? Like, your wife said that you knew. And I was like, nope. So that's fun. So that evening doesn't go well. We hang out for a little bit and like try to be normal, but obviously I'm really upset. And so eventually I like take my wife aside and I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, look, like we just ran into each other. I went to pick up my beer club thing and like she happened to be there too. And like you were working and I was bored and I was like, fine, like let's like go get a drink or whatever. Like it's totally not a big deal. But I knew that if I told you, you would like get really jealous and you would freak out and you would think that something happened. I'm gonna have to do a part 2.
I just found out that the guy that I've been dating is married. So let's talk about how I figured this shit out. To give a little backstory in my expertise, I am divorced, and the man that I was married to and the father of my children cheated on me so many times, with too many times, and I gave him so many chances because I wanted it to work for our children, and at the end of the day, he continued to lie. So I have become an expert at liars, cheaters, and all of this shit, unfortunately. So I met this man on Facebook dating a little bit over a month ago, and I was very honest about my past. He knew fully that I had been cheated on and divorced from a man who cheated on me multiple times, and he still decided to go ahead and pursue me. He told me he was looking for something real. We talked about relationship goals, that we were both single parents. He is not a single parent. All kinds of things. Like, we really got on the same level about everything. We were talking on the phone for hours almost every single night. We were texting during the day. We were going on dates regularly. The first thing that I missed was that I went to his house and oh my God, I'm still like processing all of this. I went to his house, and in his living room on the mantle was a really big canvas with a bunch of signatures on it, and I couldn't really see like what it was or whatever, and we were like really deep in conversation, so I didn't bring it up. But I did see that one of them at the very end said, relationship, you guys are relationship goals. And I did ask him about it, and he said that his brother, oh my god, this is so stupid, but his brother used to live there, and that it was like screwed into the wall. And I like asked it as I was leaving, and so I just kind of like took the answer, I guess. Another thing is, when I was at his house, he has like a Google thing, little tablet screen thing, whatever, kind of like an Alexa, I guess. And on it was a photo of a woman. And I asked him about it, and I said, I just want to be like completely clear that there is nobody else in your life, right? And he said, yes, absolutely nobody else in my life, whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I saw this picture of this woman, like, do you have an explanation for that? And he said, oh, like, that just shows photos from like tons and tons of years ago, like all the photos I've ever had. So that's just like really old. And I was like, okay, like that could make sense, whatever. We spent New Year's Eve together. We had a hotel room. We spent the night together. He got up earlier in the morning at like 7:30 and left. And he said that, oh my God. He said his brother was hosting a charity event that day, and he had to like start running errands really early because they had a ton of prep to do. I'm sure the charity event wasn't fucking real either. Okay, it's just like processing all of this in real time. Let's see what else. One time the last time I saw him, I went to his work. And the thing is, I went to where he works. He's a drummer in Kansas City, and I'm not going to say anything else, but he's a drummer in Kansas City. And I went to his work and watched him perform like very regularly. I knew his bandmates, like we were like chatting with each other. The guy at the front door, he knows me now. And the last time I saw him, I had like a babysitter until midnight, and I was like, oh, so we can go to your place after your show. And he told me that his baby mama's aunt had died, and he needed to go get his daughter. And then he told me that they weren't gonna leave until midnight, so he could be out till 11:30, which coincided perfectly with the time I had to go home. And here's the thing, okay? I say all of this and it feels really, really obvious. First of all, it was strung out over 6 weeks or so. Second, this sucks, because one of like my reasons I'm thinking about like why I didn't catch this is because I had been so open about being cheated on, and it's like not something that really I couldn't imagine. It didn't even cross my mind. Like I couldn't imagine somebody doing this to me knowing what I have been through. Well, he just texted me back, finally, and good news, girls. He said, well, she knows everything, ... So there's that. Bye. As she fucking should. And guess what? I'm gonna follow up and make sure that she knows. Her mom is giving her my phone number. So I just like really needed to get this fixed for him. I'm really like interested in following through on this. And the last message I sent him was fuck around and find out. And guess what? He is going to find out to the fullest fucking degree. Like zero holding back. I don't give a shit. And I posted him in the Are We Dating the Same Guy group, and several women said that they have just recently matched with him, like while we've been dating, and I have thought we were exclusive. So not only is he cheating on his wife with me, he's cheating on me with other women. Fuck around and find out. I am not the person. Absolutely not. Who does that to someone? You are the worst kind of person. The worst kind of person. And he like fully had me believing like there was like a future there. Crazy, dude. Crazy. I'm about to go make some pottery. but no.
Hey y'all, come get ready with me while I tell you all the times I found my ex cheating on me. My boyfriend at the time, who's my BD now. This is one of the few times I found out he was cheating. But this one specifically really traumatized me. Like, it was crazy. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so it was like around in my sophomore year. Where we were dating. We started dating like in freshman year, like by the end of it. So this one time he texted me, he's upset. Him and his older brother had gotten into an argument, and he was just really mad because he kept saying like this was always something, you know, with him. And yeah, and I was just trying to comfort him when he like was telling me that I'm like, it's okay, you know, just trying to be there for him. And he told me that he needed space to clear off his mind, da da da. He would text me later, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you space because, right? So later that night, I get a call from a number I don't know, like it's not in my contacts, random number. I get a call, and they're like, hello, is this Lena? Which is me. And I was like, what? And they sounded like their tone was like they were mad, like it was, I don't know. And mind you, I remember during this times, this girl had beef with me, like they had beef with me. So when I heard that, I was like, shit, is it them? Like, am I gonna get beat up? But yeah, they were like, I'm like, why? And they were just like, this is da da da's sister and mom. We just want to know if he's there with you, or if by any chance you know where he's at. And I was like, what do you mean? Like that I'm aware of, he's home. Like, what the fuck do you mean? And so I was just like, no. I'm like, is he okay? I'm like, last time we texted, he was home. So like, no, he got into an argument with his brother. He was really upset. He ended up getting his stuff and basically ran away. So I start crying, you know, because that's my boo. That's literally my love. So I start crying, and I was like, well, let me know if there's anything I could do. If you guys have like any news about him, like da da da. They were like, okay, da da da. And so I was like, you know, we hung up. I'm still crying, and I was like, you know what, I can't stay home and not do nothing while they're out there looking for him. Oh, because they had also said they had already called the police and made a report, and if I was hiding him or trying to cover him, that they were gonna come to my house or something. And I was like, bitch. But yeah, so I was just like really concerned. So I was like, I can't stay home and not do nothing while he's over there missing. Like, I need to be there for him and for his family, like, you know. So I go to their house, and like I book an Uber, go to their house. Mind you, I live like 20 minutes away from where he used to live. And mind you, it was already like 10, I think it was 10 at night. And so I get there, and as I'm going there, I'm texting him like, you know, like, what's up, what are you doing, where you are, we're worried, they're worried, your mom just called me, da da da, like, they're looking for you. And I get a response, after all those spam texts, I get like a response or something saying, don't worry, I'm okay, I'm under this tree, the breeze is hitting me, it's so cool, I don't want you guys looking for me, I'm gonna come back when I'm ready. So I told his sister when I get there, like, you know, this is what he said. So we start looking for a place that could look similar, like the place that he was describing, as I said. We didn't end up finding him, so we go back home because we had meet up like by the park. We go back home where his mom is at, and she was like, you know what, he might be like at his friend's house. And we're like, we got in the car, me, his mom, his sister. We head over there. As we're heading there, his sister looks out the window. We're passing by McDonald's, Taco Bell, like this like stores. She looks out the window. She's like, by any chance does he own Beats? And his mom was like, no. And she was like, oh, because I just seen somebody that looked like him, but he was wearing Beats. And I was like, hold on, I left my Beats 2 days ago at his house. He might be wearing my Beats. And so she spins back, goes to the parking of Taco Bell. And as we're pulling up, she gets out of the car, and obviously he sees she's going. He was inside with his duffel bag because he had taken his stuff with his friend, and he spans out the Taco Bell. So I get out of the car, start running, chasing after him like a maniac. So I end up catching up to him, and I'm like by this alley. So I'm like, I start like crying, and I'm like telling him, like kind of screaming at him. I'm like, what the fuck are you on? Like, just go back home. Your family's really worried. They already called the police. The police is literally looking for you. just literally go home. If you don't want to go home, you could go with me. Like, I'll talk to mom. That's what I used to call her. Or that's what I call her. I'm like, I'll talk to her. You could come with me. While you calm down, and you know, he ended up running through this little gate or whatever. So his mom goes up where I am. They were like, what did he say? Like, how did he look? Da da da. And I was like, if I'm being honest, because when I like was telling him all that, he didn't say nothing really. He just literally started laughing, like was literally laughing. And I'm like, you think it's funny the whole situation? Like, girl, no. So I was like, if I'm being honest, he looked like he was on something. Like, he looked like he was on drugs. He was just laughing, literally looked like a maniac. So they ended up calling the police. They're like, okay, we saw him here, da da da. You know, because they had already reported it. So I had mentioned that he had left his duffel bag. So I started like, I'm like, let's see what he has in here. He has 2 of his phones, and so he's like, oh wait, we could use his phone. Because one was on. We could use that phone to track his phone that he has right now with him and see where he's at. So we did that, but she was like, she asked me if I know the password. I didn't go through his phone that like before, after that one time, because there was a time before that where I already had found out he cheated. So I stopped going through his phone like the dumbest I am. And she's like, do you know the password? I was like, no, the last password I remember it was my birthday. So she tries that and it worked. So we gave the location to the police where he was at, and we head that way. As she's going through his phone, looking through the messages, see what maybe we could find something. I don't know. So we ended up catching up to him after literally chasing him around this one neighborhood. Literally chased him around the whole neighborhood. So his mom gets out of the car after they corner him. Gets out of the car. Me, his sister, his brother, we're left in the car. She's going through the phone and she's like, do you know who this person is? The person's name was Jason or Jaden. And I was like, no. She's like, okay, because in the messages it says, it's telling him, just go home for now, make a better plan and try again. And I'm gonna have to make a person.
Story time on how my husband was no longer attracted to me but caught him getting off on AI. My husband and I have struggled with attraction for 3 years. 3 years ago, my husband, let's call him Mark, has told me that he was losing attraction by only 25% due to weight gain from pregnancy with his children. To be clear, I'm comfortable with how I look, and I feel like I'm even more beautiful due to the weight that I've gained and the curves that I have now. Mark always brings up how he would find me more attractive if I went to the gym. Now, I am a logical person and I think with logic, so I understand where my husband Mark is coming from. Me and Mark separated 3 times over this issue, and anytime I bring up divorce, he says it's unfair and that he would never divorce me over a weight gain, but has not been intimate with me for 3 years. He says not being intimate with me for the 3 years has something to do with how he was born and how he thinks, because he's not attracted to fat women, but also doesn't want divorce. I believe the 10 years we've been together and the few kids we share together, that would be more meaningful and valuable than my weight gain. Always tell him he should forget about how I look and love me for me. He agrees, but also continues to say that he can never change that part of himself, that the weight gain is just too much. Although we are madly in love with each other, I brought up divorce 3 days ago due to a lack of intimacy. Intimate once a month, that's if I'm lucky. I feel this will never change and we should just get divorced. He says he can't get over editing AI videos of me being anorexic with a big bust and surrounded by men gawking over me because it's his fantasy. I'm convinced if he keeps comparing me with these AIs to when I was 140 pounds to now 215 pounds, then he'll never want to be physical. Angry, I would even suggest divorcing, and states the only real reason to divorce is due to infidelity and not due to lack of attraction. So am I the asshole for wanting divorce? We've gone to marriage counseling. He's gone to 2 separate marriage counsels. Also says I'm wrong for going through his phone to see that he is still editing AI photos of me to get off on his pleasure instead of us spending intimate times together. Scared to leave him because we have kids and this is my first relationship. So I don't know if it's an appropriate reason to get a divorce. What should I do?
Come with me to catch my girlfriend of 11 months cheating on me red-handed with her boss. Now I'm going to rewind a little bit to give you guys some context. This is all happening 2 days before Valentine's Day, which is also the anniversary of when we met. So yeah. So typical beginning to any love story. When we first met, we were locked in. Like, we were attracted to each other from the jump and we had really good chemistry and everything just started going downhill from there. So her name is Nevaeh. She is a nurse. And I don't know if this is just me, you can give me your opinions if you want to, but she has a big superiority complex because she's a nurse. She thinks she's better than everyone. She likes to tell people what to do. She was the main reason that I stopped posting on TikTok because she said it was embarrassing and that I was making a fool of myself. But just to let you guys know, I'm so back. Like, that was the worst 11 months of my life and I got joy from posting and sharing my stories with you guys, so let's get into it. So I found out she was cheating on me a week ago. I always had an inclination that she was because she's sketchy and the biggest gaslighter I've ever met, and the person who told me that she was cheating was her best friend who works at the same hospital as her. She also informed me that the dude she's cheating with is a cardiologist, so technically her boss, same hospital. And you're probably thinking, Ryan, you're making accusations when you don't have proof just because someone told you. No, I do have proof, and it is utterly disgusting dirt trash proof. So 2 weeks ago, we share a place she lives at, my condo, and on her nightstand there was antibiotics, and I was like, are you sick? Like, are you not feeling good? And she's like, no, I'm fine, I just have a little bit of a sinus infection. So a few days go by, I'm skeptical, and I go to the bathroom to drain the main vein. Oh, it kind of stings a little bit. So I freak the fuck out. Like, I do not like that shit at all. I'm a hypochondriac. I don't like it. I just think that's so disgusting and dirty. So I immediately go to urgent care. And you guessed it, I have the... And also, the only person I slept with in this whole entire time is her. So she must have been fooling around. And who gave it to her, you're wondering? Oh, disgusting, dirty douchebag Dr. Derek, the heart doctor. He really had no consideration for my heart when he slept with my girlfriend, or any consideration that he has a wife and 3 children at home. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. I hope everyone sees this. So every Thursday, Nevaeh, who her parents named her that because it's heaven spelled backwards, should have been hell. Regardless, at her midday break of her 12-hour shift, her and Dr. Derek sneak off to one of those rooms that the doctors and the nurses can take naps in, and they do the deed. Except they started getting skeptical that people were thinking, oh, hush, hush, I think they're sleeping together around the hospital. So they started getting hotel rooms, all at the same hotel. And this idiot, when he buys the room, he uses his real name. Like, how dumb can he be? He uses cash, but he checks in with his name because he thinks he's going to get some perks from being a doctor, and it's right next to the hospital. So I'm here, and we're going to go catch him. Oh, you guys are probably pondering, Ryan, how the heck are you going to catch him? You don't have their room number, you don't have a key card. I thought of all of that. I called ahead to the hotel, and I said, my brother and my sister, who are twins that work in the medical field, are coming in from out of town and staying at their hotel, and I would like to surprise them for their birthday. And Nevaeh might not know that I'm there, but there will be signs because I already made friends with the front desk lady, and I gave her one of my hoodies, my merch, that says, why not do it for the plot, ride toast. So she might not know, but there will be signs, and I have to catch her, you guys, because if I don't, she will gaslight me so hard into the ground and try to make up some insane lie and blame it on me. That's why I'm recording this, so I know for a fact that I have people on my side. Yeah, I even went the whole 9 yards and packed my bag, looking like a real guest in this place. And thank you guys for watching my story and being here with me through this. I will be back with so many more story times of doing it for the plot. Follow along. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. It was because of that witch, that Satan spawn, that disgusting person. But we're here to catch her, and this is gonna get good. So yeah, stay tuned. It looks like I'm gonna be single for Valentine's Day. So anybody out there wanna go on a date with me? Let me know.
I was engaged for 6 months when I caught my fiance cheating on me through our Ring front door camera, and this is the story time. So at this time, I was 25 years old. I had been engaged for 6 months, and my fiance was 29. He was actually turning 30 as this whole thing happened. And to celebrate his 30th birthday, I took us both on a trip to Beverly Hills. We had a good trip, and we got back on a Sunday evening, and I went to work the next day. On Mondays, I went into the office and he would work from home. So I go into the office, I have a day at work, and when I got home, my house felt weird. I felt like I could tell someone had been in my house. But I've been cheated on before, so I was telling myself, calm down, like relax. But you can just tell when something is off. Like my purse had been put up in the closet, which was weird. And I just had the feeling that someone had been inside my home. Something important to note is that we had just moved into this home. It was a 4-bedroom rental and we had been there for less than 30 days. We had just moved in and my fiance had decided that he wanted to install a front door camera and a security system. So we were still on the 30-day free trial of Blink. And he had installed the cameras. I actually never even had the password the first couple of weeks because I didn't care that much about home security. I feel like that's a man's job. So at this point in time, when I got home, I didn't even have the passwords to our front door camera system. But when I got home that night and I felt like someone had been in my house, I was just telling myself to relax and to not be paranoid. And so I just kind of ignored it for the night. I asked him what did you do today? And he was like, I just worked from home. And I was like, is that it? And he was like, yeah. So I just kind of tried to ignore it for the time being, but I could not sleep all night. My intuition and my gut was telling me someone has been inside my house. So I was sitting in bed awake all night just thinking about this and I couldn't get it off of my mind. So the next day after work, we were going to the gym and I decided to wait until he was in the car driving. And then I asked him, I was like, oh, by the way, can I have the password to the Blink app? At this point, I'm not expecting really to find anything because we had just installed the cameras, but I just asked and he gave me the password as he was driving, but he was stumbling to give it to me, but it was the same password that he used for everything. So that was a little weird. So I log into the Blink app and I see a video almost immediately. It was in the thread. And it was a woman who was walking into my house. And I watched the video one time. It was 6 seconds. And I see the door open and this blonde lady enter my home. So he's still driving and I ask him, who is this? And he was like, who is what? And I was like, who is this blonde lady who came in our house at 12:30? And he was like, no one. And when I tell you guys, it was so quick. Before you know it, he had pulled over the truck. He deleted the video, and when I refreshed the Blink app, it was gone so fast. This all happened in 30 seconds and my head was just spinning. But I'm not dumb. So when I saw the video for the first time, I had immediately just taken a screenshot. So I don't have the video, but I have the thumbnail of the video and I have the timestamps that the video was recorded. Damn, did you really think that you were gonna gaslight me into thinking that I made up seeing that in my head? So at this point in time, my head is spinning. I'm just so confused because I had no suspicions that my fiance would ever cheat on me. He was the last guy I would have ever betted would have actually cheated. I had just taken pre-workout as well, so we were on the way to the gym and I was turn the truck around. I'm not getting on the treadmill right now. So he turns around, we go home. He's telling me that no one entered the house. He is standing 10 toes down that no one entered the house. And I was like, I literally saw the door open and someone walk into the house. So why are you trying to tell me that no one came? I was like, did the dogs open the door? So we got back home and I just got in my car and I drove straight to his mom's house. Because I didn't have any family in the city that we lived in and I didn't know where else to go. So I just drove to his mom's house. And if you're acting wrong, your mama's gonna know. That day, too, that Monday when I was at work, he had texted me in the afternoon saying, I'm washing the sheets. And that was already suspicious and weird because when do you ever wash the sheets? I do. But was so interesting is that the timestamp on the video camera footage shows this woman entering my house. In 30 minutes, it shows her leaving my house. I can see her back. And the timestamp when she was leaving, he sent me the text message like 6 minutes later saying that he was going to wash the sheets. So he would not admit to having someone in the house. I was like, is this your aunt? Is this a real estate agent? Is this a salesperson? Is this a coworker? But no, he was adamant for the first 3 to 4 days that no one entered the house. Eventually, he did confess that he met someone online, I guess, and she came over, but he was pretty adamant that they didn't do anything and that they were just talking for 30 minutes. I was like, if y'all were just talking, then give me her phone number and I will call her to confirm. But he really didn't want to do that. And again, I just never expected this guy to cheat on me, which I guess you never expect it. But I was just thinking to myself, like, who knows this man the best? And before me, he was in an 8-year-long relationship. So I was thinking to myself, like, that girl knows this man. So for the first time, I reached out to her. I sent her a message and she responded to me basically saying to run for the hills. She was like, I was with him for 8 years. He took all of my 20s from me and he is a serial cheater. Like, he cheated on me so many times, again and again. He would lie. He would say he would never do it and he kept doing it. And so at that moment, I mean, obviously that was all of the answers I needed. I just didn't know that that was something he did. And it was very disappointing because his mom and sister, when I drove over to his mom's house after first seeing the video, they both like adamantly, full-heartedly defended him. And they were like, he would never do this. He would never do this. And it's crazy because his ex-girlfriend was like, no, his mom and sister know all about his cheating escapades and they're well aware. They've been involved with his drama for years. So that was disappointing that like his family would lie to me. His sister told me, woman to woman, we will find out what happened. She's a religious woman, like, So I basically told my fiance, like, my decision is made. I'm going to be leaving. But the only thing that you could possibly get me to stay is if you get me in touch with this woman who you say nothing happened. Like, let me talk to her. If you're going to stand on that's the truth, then what is the problem if I talk to her? And it was so funny. Like, I don't know if he paid someone or what, but I get a call from this phone number. And it's this girl's voice, but it's like a voice like this. Like, it's literally so high. And I was like, who are you? And it was this person. I don't know if it was the girl who was lying for him. This girl, no, she was like an older lady. She must have been 45 minimum. And she was in this high-pitched voice. It just sounded so fake to me. And so that phone call did absolutely nothing, obviously. So I packed all of my things. I quit my job of 5 years. That same weekend, I put all of my things in a storage unit. I was in a 4-bedroom house, moved everything into a storage unit, and moved back to the city that I'm from. And yeah, I left, and that was the end of my engagement. Another crazy and fucked up part of this is that when I was trying to leave, my fiance was trying to stop me from leaving. And so his mom took both of my dogs and held them hostage at her house for like 3 days. And then his sister came into my house during that time, cornered me in my own living room and was like, give me back the ring. And I was like, the fuck, take the ring and your nasty ass brother. I do want to say that my fiance was honestly very good to me. He treated me really good. He always has. He always would have. There was no emotional abuse or anything wrong with our relationship, but there was the infidelity, and that's the only reason that we broke up and that I left. But this video is not to dog on him in any way. I just wanted to share the video of how he got caught. I don't think cheating makes you a 100% bad person in itself. But I do think that I have the choice if I want to be with someone who's going to lie to me or not. And I made the choice to leave, and I'm happy I did. But I do have love for him. I think he's a great guy. I hope he learns from this. I hope he helps himself and heals whatever he needs to so he doesn't do this again, because he is a good guy who deserves love. It's just not going to be with me. Okay, so here's the screenshot that I took. You can see this lady was arriving at she was leaving at 1:30 p.m. She arrived at 12:56 p.m. You can see her walking in, and there I was leaving at 7:58 a.m. So if anyone knows this lady from San Antonio, It doesn't matter, but that's who came into my house.
Things I wish I knew in college. If your boyfriend tells you you only got your job offer because you're a woman, you should dump his ass. Hope that was helpful.
Bro's dumbass literally left his fucking phone in my car, so I went through it and I found everything. To y'all dumbass cheaters out there, if you're gonna cheat, at least be smarter about it. Don't leave your second phone in my fucking car.
One for the plug and one for the load. I got two phones, one for the and one for the dog. They got these two more.
Just don't do the dumb actions in the first place, and then you wouldn't have to be worried about me going through your phone. Also, I'm known for smashing phones, so like, it's taking everything in me not to do it, guys. I am a changed woman. Am I gonna smash the phone? No. Do I want to? Yes. I'm sorry, but how fucking dumb can you be? Like, texting other girls and then leave your second phone in my car. Like, if I was doing some dumbass shit like that, that phone would be the first thing I make sure to grab when I'm leaving that car. Like, y'all dumbasses be cheating and then get yourselves caught up so easily. Like, what the fuck? And by the way, guys, me and this man aren't together, so like, it wasn't cheating. I'm just talking about like overall situations. Men be getting caught up so fucking easily. Like, how can you get caught up that easily? I just had a gut fucking feeling that he left his phone, and I get home and I fucking look on the ground and something is buzzing, and it's this fuck ass phone. Like, are we fucking being dead ass? Like, bitch. And my ass hopped out of that fucking driver's seat so quick, picked that bitch up and went through it, and did I like what I saw? No. Do I care? No. Well, beautiful ladies, if you're texting that phone, just know you're not the only one, and there's probably like 5 other girls in there. Just wanted to throw that out there. Ew, why are men so fucking thirsty, bro? This is bad. No, guys, I'm not even gonna lie. This guy that like left his phone in my car, I guess he's just my friend, so like it doesn't matter anyways. But like, okay, if you guys got the situation, you would understand. 1, I can't explain it, and 2, it's too much to explain. But like, if you're my friend and like you know me, you like understand what I'm saying. Like, technically we are only friends. Does it hurt me to see that? No. Like, yes. I'm just joking. But like, I don't know how to explain it. We're friends, but like we have a past, like we have a history, so it's just like, damn, I don't like seeing that. But technically I can't even be mad, basically. So I knew he was talking to a bunch of girls. It's just one of the girls, like, me and him had problems with. Like, she was an issue here and there throughout our relationship. Oh yeah, she was also a problem in another relationship I had. That bitch is just everywhere, bro. But yeah, it low-key just pissed me off because we had like a 4-hour conversation, and then like the second he got out of my car, he's texting all these girls. So like, it's just like, bro, really? Like, that's like so, like, that's so disrespectful, I feel like. Like, the second you get out of my car, you're already texting other girls. But like I said, me and him aren't anything. We're just friends. We've had a past, but yeah. That phone is gone in my closet. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to this Get Ready With Me. I hope everyone has a great Friday and an amazing weekend. I love you guys. Bye.
My mom didn't know that my dad was actually hooking up with someone. So today, I'm going to tell you guys a story time about how I found out I had a half-sister when I first moved to the Bay. So I was just scrolling on Facebook, and it was like later in the night, and I just randomly got a message from this girl. I just remember reading the message that said, if you want to know about your half-sister, go ask your mom. I did end up asking my mom because I was so confused. My mom started telling me what allegedly happened. Allegedly. She kind of had a feeling my dad cheated on her when she was pregnant with me in her small town in Mexico. My dad basically had like this like old beat up car that he drove around, and he told my mom it was having like mechanical issues and that he needed to go to the store to buy something to fix it. Like, okay, go ahead. But it was late at night, so mom was like, she was a little bit scared. I'll wait for you. So my dad left, and he was gone for about maybe over an hour. Frustrated, waiting for him in the car, just saying like, why is he taking so freaking long to go get like tools or like oil, whatever he needed for the car. She remembers my dad getting there. What happened? What took you so long? Why were you gone for almost 2 hours? And he was like, oh, nothing, it just took so long. Excuses, whatever. My mom was upset but mainly annoyed because, she didn't know that my dad was actually, doing. And she was like, okay. So my dad fixed the car, and they ended up leaving. They went home. She would question him or bring it up, and then one day that she did question it when he was drunk, he admitted to be guilty of basically having a daughter with someone. That there were rumors that my dad could have been the dad, but I don't know why my mom stayed with my dad. Dad ended up going back to Mexico like one day randomly, because he was drunk and curious about what happened with that daughter, and he wanted to ask her mom if the rumors were true. We don't know what he ended up finding out, and there was rumors that it could have also been allegedly my cousin, because my uncle was also involved with the same lady who sent me the message, and it was basically her older sister. I think she just wanted it to be known. And I ended up reaching out to my alleged sister. She didn't know anything about it. I don't know if she ever heard anything. In shock, and yeah, she was processing it when I brought it up to her through messages. They tried to get to know her on a personal level, because whatever happened between our parents, that's on them. Like, I don't think she was ready at that moment, so we didn't actually get to meet in person. But yeah, that is the story.
Okay guys, get ready with me while I tell you about things I did in high school that my parents have no idea happened. Starting off strong, I hosted like 3 or 4, I'm not even sure, parties in my house. Bad idea. First one, our dog gate got broken. Second, my bathroom door fully like broken out of the hinges. We had to get that fixed. And also one time I threw a party right after our basement got painted, and not a good idea, rip the paint. Just say my party hosting era is over. One of the parties, my dad did come home a little early, and I was like, oh, just go to your room, like, people are here. Like, I got in trouble. Also, this girl that went to my school, she lived really close to me. Like, I was literally 2 minutes away. I could have walked to her house if I wanted to. She would also always host, so every time she hosted, I would bring like a bunch of my boyfriend and his friends. They would come back to my house, and I'd sneak them in with my friends, and we'd all sleep over in the basement, and then they'd sneak out the next morning. Crazy. This one's like really bad, like, actually, but before I even had my permit, I was 15 is when I hosted my first party. My parents were away, and I had my mom's car keys, so I took her car and drove to McDonald's at 3 a.m. to get food after my party. And I went with my friend, but so illegal. Like, I didn't even have a permit. So when I was a junior, my boyfriend was a senior, and he would also host parties at his house. So I told my mom I was going to my friend's house, because she didn't know that that was his house yet, and I would just sleep over. And like one time my friend slept over too, so I would just lie about where I was and what I was doing and where I was sleeping. But that's all right. I stupidly set up my friends at one of my parties, and they hooked up in my mother's bed. Don't worry, I changed the sheets and washed them and everything, but yeah, that was disturbing. No hate, it was my best friend. But also, the girl that lives by me, one time she was hosting like a Valentine's party, so I had a pink like corset on, and then I didn't want my mom to see, so I put a sweater over it. And then when I was leaving her car, also when we got in the car, my friend had a bag of drinks, and you could hear the bottles clink, and I was like pretending like to cough over it, because I was like, what was that? Yeah, it turns out when I got out, she saw it like peek through my sweater and was like, what are you wearing? And I was like, my mom called me when I was having a party, and I had to go upstairs and lock myself in my room and pretend that I wasn't throwing a party, and I was just hanging out with my friends, and it was FaceTime, and I had to like show her. Yeah, that was really bad, really freaking bad. Yeah, that's all I can think of, but it was just crazy, like, thinking about how many people have slept over at my house that I like literally forget about, and then also how many times I've snuck people in. Like, my parents had no fucking idea how many people were sleeping in our basement. It had to have been like 10 of us, boys and girls, which is crazy, like really bad. Also, there was like random people showing up, so me and my friends like hid our drinks like in like cabinets and stuff, and I think somebody left behind a handle of Malibu. My dad found it and was like, what is this? Oh, baby, that's not mine. So this girl brought mixers to make mixed drinks with in the blender. And blender broke, spilled everywhere, left all of it at my house. And my parents were like, what is this? So yeah, that's my high school experience.
I called my ex, right? A bitch picked up. A bitch picked up. A bitch picked up. He was my boyfriend, bitch. We were going out. And I called him. But let me tell you the fucking backstory why this fucking bitch picked up. Because he used to be a cheating ass bitch. He used to cheat on me all the time. But this one right here, I was like, oh, you gonna cheat on me, bitch? Okay, he didn't have a job. I think I was 19, he was 18 at the time. So he went to out of town with his cousin, his so-called cousin. That motherfucker called sucker wasn't even related to him, but they call each other cousins. He went out of town with his cousin to go work. While he was there, he wouldn't text me, he wouldn't call me, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, hey, are you okay? He was just like, yeah. And then I'm like, when are you coming back from out of town? He's like, I don't know, but I'll let you know. I was like, okay, because he was supposed to go for a week. I think he stayed for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, okay. And like, I would text him, and he wouldn't answer me. He wouldn't talk to me, and I was like, what the fuck? I think he stayed for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, okay. And like, I would text him, and he wouldn't answer me. He wouldn't. Okay, fast forward. I think he comes back from out of town, and then I'm like, are you back from out of town? And then he doesn't reply. So me thinking he's out of town. Bitch, he's not out of town. This motherfucker came back, right? Like, I was texting him and stuff, and he wouldn't talk to me. So we slowly stopped talking. Like, we slowly stopped talking. So I'm like, okay, so what the fuck? So I'm like, bitch, are we together or not? And he was like, I don't know if you want to. If I want to. Bitch, you're the weird ass bitch that been ghosting me for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks you've been out of town. Bitch, what the fuck you mean if I want to? Do you want to be with me or not? I don't know if you want to. Bitch, well, fuck you then, right? And I clicked on him. So he was doing that for me to break up with him, right? So I'm like, you know what? Well, fuck you. I don't want to be with you then. Bye. Fuck you back. Bitch, bye. So that's what he did, right? And the whole time while I'm over here thinking like, oh, he doesn't want to be with me, he had another bitch. That's why he didn't want to be with my ass. Another fucking crackhead bitch he wanted to be with. And I didn't fucking know. But I ended up finding out. Like, I forgot how long we were on the break. I think we were on a break, and it was by Valentine's. That's how I remember. I got a fucking flashback. I always get PTSD on fucking Valentine's because this bitch. So it was around Valentine's. And I remember, like, I was so sad and I was so depressed. I was going through it because I was like, damn, like, he don't want to be with me. Like, he doesn't have to talk to me, whatever, right? And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm going to live my life. So I was trying to live my fucking life, right? But obviously, I was still sad because I was so in love with this fucking bum guy, like, cocksucker motherfucker. So then one night, I get like a little bit like sad. You know, you get those moments when you get really, really sad and you're just like, you know, those days. Like, I woke up because I had this weird ass dream. Like, I had a weird dream that something bad happened to him. Like, I had a dream that he got in a car accident and he almost passed away. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm laughing because that's not funny, but I'm laughing because he did get in a car accident like the next year after that happened, and he almost did pass away. But and then that's not funny though. That's not the story that I'm talking about, because that's another story. Anyways, so I call him and I'm calling him, and it's like 6 in the morning and I'm blowing him up, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, oh my gosh, what if something happened to him? What if he got in a car accident, right? That's what the fuck I was thinking, because I was so then I call, and then a girl answers, she's like, hello? And I'm like, the fuck? What the fuck? Who the fuck is this? And she's like, his girl. Who's this? And I'm like, his girl? Bitch, you got me fucked up. I'm his girl. Who the fuck are you? And she's like, how are you his girl if I'm right here next to him asleep? Who are you? Like, this is his girl. What are you talking about? The fuck? And I said, wake that fucking bitch up right now. Let me talk to his stupid ass then. And she's like, okay. She goes, babe, they're calling you, babe. I'm like, put that cocksucker on the phone now, bitch. Like, right? I'm talking shit. I'm like, put that motherfucker cocksucker on the phone. Hurry the fuck up. And then, like, she gave him the phone, and I guess he seen that I was calling, and he clicked. So I was blowing him back up. He wasn't answering me. And I was like, okay, so he thinks this is fucking funny. So at the time, I didn't have a car. Why didn't I have a car? I don't fucking remember, but I just know I didn't fucking have a car at this time. So my little sister had a car, and I had told her, let me take the kids to school, because she would take them to school in the morning. I said, let me take the kids to school. And she was like, why? I'll take them. And I was like, no, let me take them, because I was going to take the kids to school, and I was going to zoom to this cocksucker's house, go inside, and catch him in action. I was like, okay, well, fuck you. So I was telling my little sister, I'm like, let me take it. She's like, no, it's not worth it. Don't do it. You guys are not even together. And then I was like, we are together. Like, we just haven't been talking. And she's like, well, that's what it is. Like, y'all are not together. So he don't do it. You're going to look dumb. Like, he's just going to be like, we're not even together. What the fuck are you doing here? And I was like, okay, my little sister presented to me. And I was like, okay, you're right. So I was like, well, then, fuck him. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to pop country then. Right? And then he called me like at 10. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was at my friend's house, and his cousin answered the phone, and it was a prank. I was pranking you. Bitch, how stupid do you think I am? I said, oh, really? You really? I'm like, put your friend on 3 right now and confirm it. He's like, for what? I was like, to confirm it, bitch. He's like, for what? You're doing too much. I said, because you're a fucking lying ass bitch. And I said, you know what? If you want to be with that fucking crackhead ass bitch, then be with that crackhead ass bitch. I really don't give a fuck. Stay with her ass. Stay with her ass. Oh, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I said, shut the fuck up. You're a dumb bitch. And you're stupid. Like, shut the fuck up. So then I stopped talking to him. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you, you fucking raggedy bitch. I said, well, fuck you. I'm gonna stop fucking talking to you. You want to be a little bitch. You want to be a little hoe. You can't even tell me up front. Like, yeah. So comes to find out, my little sister was talking to his cousin. His cousin, the one he went out of town with. Yeah. Comes to find out, they're fucking talking about me and him because of what happened with Moon and this cocksucker right here. And they were talking about it, and then they're like, oh yeah, he called cocksucker, and like she answered it and ha ha he he, and it was the girl that lives across the block of him or something like that. And then my little sister came and told me, and she's like, you know any girl that lives around the block, that's who he's talking to. And I was like, and she said, yeah, she has blonde hair. And I was like, hold up. And I put 2 together, and I was like, oh, he's talking to this bitch, the crackhead bitch. Oh, so he likes junkies. And I was like, okay. And I didn't even tell you, I had his mom and his sister texting me, talking about, when are you going to get back with my son, because the girl he's with, I don't like her. I don't like her being in my house. I don't like her because she's a junkie, and yeah, because she would do a lot of druggies. Yeah, she would do that, and she was, they thought I was bad. She was worse. She said he even, like, wanted to even talk to me back because that bitch went to fucking jail. That's the reason he fucking came back and talking to me, because the bitch went to jail. So, motherfucker was trying to play both of us. Or he called me to go get something from him that I had left my stuff there. And he told me, like, come over here and pick it up. Like, come pick it up. And I was like, fine, whatever, right? And he came to the car, and I was like, where's my shit? And he's like, oh, it's inside. Come get it. And I was already like, bitch, I won't be with your ass. Like, you got another hoe. Like, I'm not trying to be with you. Like, I'm really not trying to be with you. Like, give me my shit. He's like, come inside and get it. And I was like, come on. He's like, come on, it's cold. And I was like, okay, well, fuck it. I'm going inside and get it and get the fuck out. Yeah. The fuck? I did not do that. I went inside. Bitch. Tell me why the fuck I saw this bitch's trainer, this bitch's shoes, this bitch's clothes, like, bitch's underwear. And I was like, he was trying to be like, oh, what is yours? Motherfucker didn't bring my shit down because he didn't even know what the fuck was mine. And I was like, who the fuck is this? He's like, you already know why you're acting. I was like, oh, so this the crackhead stuff right here, right? And then he started laughing, and I was like, well, give me my shit. And then he's like, sit down, let's talk. And I was like, what the fuck you want to talk about? And we were arguing about blah, blah, blah. And he said he's not even with her, that he only used her for the money. He only used her for the car. Because I didn't have a car back then, bitch. I didn't have a car because my car was having problems, so I wasn't driving at that time. At this period of time, I didn't have a car. And then when I got a car, because I was like, okay, bitch, you want to be a bitch. And between that time, I got a car. I got my shit together in between that month, and I got a car. And he was like, oh, I was using it for her car. I was using it for her money. I maxed out all her credit cards. I didn't even like her. I was just using her, blah, 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 blah. He was fucking lying, and I fucking believed it, and I fell for it. And I stayed with him. And then I stayed with him 6 years. But then we ended up breaking up. I ended up breaking up with him. I left him because he got in a car with another bitch. And I left him because I saw him in action. I said, bitch, fuck you.
I know I'm already getting ready, but I thought I would tell you this story time because it's actually insane. It's about this date that I went on. Actually, a whole ass relationship that I was in. Right? Him on Tinder, and that was like fine. We met up to go on a date like at a little mall area. Kino, I wasn't even gonna go because he's a horrible texter. I wasn't even gonna go. I was literally gonna take myself to the movies, and that was gonna be that. That was gonna be that. I should have fucking gone to the movie. So anyway, we were supposed to meet at this mall thing at like 7, and he texted me at 7 saying he's gonna be 30 minutes late. Now mind you, I arrived to everything like 30 minutes early, so I ended up waiting for like an hour when he finally got there, and he was super chill, no red flags whatsoever, other than the fact that he was late. But other than that, we ended up like really hitting it off. There was a huge connection. Like I really liked this guy, and I remember like one of the main things that he told me, like just in casual conversation that is important to remember, is he was like, oh my god, and like I think it was September, I'm going on this cruise and I'm so excited. I was like, oh my god, who are you going with? He's like, oh, some friends. And I was like, I'm so excited for you, I'm so jelly. So anyway, he ends up having to move back to Savannah, which if you don't know is in Georgia, and I live far away from there, Atlanta, right? And there was like really, it sucked, but there wasn't any like extravagant thing wrong with that because he would literally commute. I would offer to drive, which is important to remember. I would offer to drive up to him. He was like, no, you hate driving, I won't make you do that, which is true. I don't like driving. Also, don't mind how disgusting that is. I swear I'm gonna keep using it until it's gone. I think 2 months we were doing the whole he would commute down to me. The last time I saw him, we went to a concert and he treated me like absolutely shit. Let's start cooking, because he randomly ghosts me 3 months in, right? And I was like, what? At the end of the day, he ended up fully ghosting me. What do? I go onto his Instagram and look at his following and followers. I find this girl who I had been kind of looking at for a hot minute now, because I was like, yeah, he's not responding, something's up. Like immediately I clocked that. Like, probably a month after like being broken up or whatever the fuck you want to call it, ghosting me, slay, whatever, and I go onto her Instagram. Why is he posted up with her? She went to the Bahamas with him, which means he was literally cheating on me the entire fucking time. I was like, bro, why would you drive 5 hours to come and see me multiple times while you're cheating on me? How like desperate are you? Like, it's low-key embarrassing. I like just never say anything. I just ended up blocking her, and I blocked his Instagram. However, I do this thing, I don't know why, I'm low-key just nosy, and like if you don't like that about me, I'm so sorry, but I didn't block his number, right? I'm not texting him, but I didn't block his number at the time. So like 3 months later, I get a text message from him. He's like, hey, how have you been? I'm like, ew, none of your business. I was like, I'm okay, right? Just because I wanted to like, I really just wanted answers and to know like really, why the fuck would you do that to a person? Like, that's just fucked up, right? I end up agreeing to call him, and on that call I had one mission. I was like, oh, I'm gonna out his ass because I know he cheated, and I don't think he realizes that I know. I'm like, do you think I'm fucking stupid? And of course, like, you guys in the comments are gonna be like, well, you're stupid for responding. Bruh, for the plot, YOLO. He was going on and on about how, like, he was tired and all about how his money's up and all this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, I literally don't care. So I ended up, like, completely outing him and being like, yeah, I'm sure you're exhausted, especially because, like, you know, you were, like, with another girl the entire time we were together. And he like over the phone goes, oh, she was just a homegirl. What? That's so funny, because last time I checked on her profile, you're literally all up in her grill and all up in her kissing her. Like, nice homegirl. That's not how I love my homegirls. Anyway, but like not like that. Like, bro. After that, I ended up blocking him because I was like, no more. I just wanted like the end of the lore, and you just proved me right, and now I'm blocking you. At the end of the day, there was literally no sign. Like, he literally had no red flags, which is why I was so flabbergasted, which is why I was so invested to figure out what the fuck happened, because I was so fucking confused. You know what? Come to think of it, there actually was the one red flag where it was the glitter. It was the glitter. If you look at my pinned videos, there's a video on glitter. He's the guy who said he didn't like glitter. Anyway, I'll leave that with you today. Have a good day.
Get ready with me, story time about the time I got cheated on by my first boyfriend with 4 different girls. Okay, honestly, this was such a long time ago that right now I was just thinking, like, what's a story time that could be interesting for you guys? And this is, like, one of the, like, T's in my life, so I guess. Okay, so this took place like 8th grade, freshman year, like, you know, so very long ago. Okay, so the first time that it happened, yes, I know, the first time is crazy. I did go back. But the first time that it happened, I was in 8th grade, and we've been together for like 4 months now or something. And I had got a DM, and then it was like, oh, hey girl, like, are you talking to so-and-so? And then I responded back to the DM because, like, I was. And I responded back, and I was like, yeah, like, why? And then she was like, oh, I guess he has, like, family that, like, lived, like, a little bit more further that he would stay with for, like, every, like, couple weeks. She's like, oh, whenever he would, like, come to, like, our town and stuff like that, like, basically, like, that was her man, like, in their town. But, like, whenever he'd come back over to our town, like, you know, like, that, like, he was with me. So it was just crazy. So that was that time. But he ended up, like, just, like, apologizing, which of course he was gonna apologize, and then blah blah blah. I don't even remember, but I just know I ended up, like, forgiving him, and then all was good, right? Okay, so then we, like, spent the summer or whatever, like, doing fine, everything was okay. He ended up going to a different high school than me, and then I went to a different high school. Anyways, like I was saying, we went to different high schools, so we basically all know what's gonna happen here. So since our breakup, we're like another like 2 or a month and a half in, and then the football games start, like the high school football games. So like we're freshmen, we're gonna be going to the games. My school goes against his school, so I showed up to the games, so clearly his whole school is basically gonna be there. Then I'm gonna be there, you know? And when I got there, I peeped that like he was like not trying to go to his side, like of the bleachers, like where his school was. And I was just kind of like, oh, like, why, you know, like, blah, blah, blah. So then, like, eventually he went to go, like, talk to his friends on his side real quick. And then I was, like, with my friends. And, like, not as a joke, but, like, we were kind of like, let's go over there. Like, let's see what's up with that side, you know? Okay, so I walk over there, and then, like, I see him talking to his friends. And then I turn, and then I peep, like, 3 girls just staring at me. And, like, they're staring at me the whole entire time, like, with their mouths covered, like, pointing at me, like, everything, right? But I just, like, don't say anything. I keep walking up to him. And then I go up to him, and then he kind of, like, turns me around, like, puts his arm around me to, like, turn me around to walk back out, like, back to my side. So then I was just kind of like, what the heck? But, yeah, and then I was like, oh, like, why were those girls, like, you know, doing too much? Like, why were they pointing at me, like, doing all this stuff, like, what's up with that? And then he was just like, he made it seem like it was like a jealousy thing. He was like, oh, like, I don't know, but like, if you want me to say something to them, like, I will, like, I'll never let anybody blah 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 look at you that type of way, da da da. And I was just like, I mean, it's fine, but I'm just like confused, you know, like, I'm just confused. And then he was like, yeah, like, I'll say something to them, da, da, da. And I was like, no, like, you're good. Like, so I didn't like think anything that I had to do with him, because then I was just like, oh, like, they just probably don't like me, like, they probably, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, I'm, you know, you have those people that you've never met before, but they just like hate you or something, you know. Okay, so boom, game's over. I go home. Then, like, later that night, I get a text, and it's like, hey girl, literally it says hey girl. It's like, hey girl, how long have you and so-and-so been together? And then I was like, oh, like, we're about like 5 months in or something like that. She was like, oh, really? Because, like, basically just telling me that, like, I guess, like, he'd be like in the hallways, like, kissing all up on girls, and like be trying to flirt with her, but also flirts with her friend. And like, basically, like, he was just this big old player at his school, and like talking to multiple people. So then another girl texted me, and she was like, yeah, like, it's true, like, he does it to me. So then, mind you, right now, he does it to, he cheated on me that first time with that first girl. Then he cheated on me again with these 2 girls that are friends. Then they both were talking about, like, oh, and another girl that I guess she was like this, like, oh, the only way that I know her is they were like, oh, that she's like this redhead that, like, he talks to and stuff like that, and he'd be talking to her too. So that's 4. And I was like, oh, like, literally so much happened that night. But I ended up just leaving, never ever 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 went back. And yeah, guys, that's how I found out. But it was such a long time ago, so if you guys or anybody that was brought up in this video, like,
it's whatever, you know, like I don't even think about it at all. So like I just want to do a little story time, so nothing too crazy. Oh, but then after, I don't know like what he did to make her change her mind, but she literally texted me like a couple weeks after, and then she was like, oh hey girl, like this is me again, like I just want to tell you that like I was lying and none of that happened. I was like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean none of what happened? Like, you just told me he was cheating on me with 3 girls, and now you're saying that you're lying and none of that happened. But I still think that it happened, and I don't think that she was lying. I just think that they like somehow ended on good terms, and like, I don't know. Now that I'm looking back, I'm like, girl, you were so oblivious and dumb to the situation, but at the same time, like, that was my first ever boyfriend, and like, I was learning, you know, I was growing and I was learning, so like now I would never ever do that. But yes guys, we're all done. Thank you for listening to my story time, and I will see you guys later.
Randall, there is a cow outside.
There's a cow farm. You're gonna find cows outside.
No.
Story time of my boyfriend cheating on me. My boyfriend cheating on me, my boyfriend cheating on me, my boyfriend cheating on me, my boyfriend cheating on me. Oh, I swear. Okay, so I worked on Tuesday. I got home around 5:30. My boyfriend's in the shower, getting ready to go with his friends, with somebody that he works with. And I believe him. I don't care. I let him go out and do what he wants to do. We live together, so I know he's gonna come home. But ladies, that does not stop. That does not stop, does not stop, does not stop a man from cheating on you. No. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. So, that was Tuesday. Tuesday night, he comes back home at 3 a.m. Once again, wasn't really thinking anything of it because I don't mind when he goes out with his friends. Here's where it gets good. We've been together maybe about 2 years or so, and I haven't got to go through his phone yet because I don't know the password. I have no idea what the password is. I wake up for work on Wednesday morning around 6 a.m. He fell asleep with his phone on in his hand. I'm thinking, oh, this is the perfect opportunity. God just wants me to find whatever it is I need to find. It all comes to light at the end of the day. So, what do? I go on the phone. I go on his text messages. And the reason why he was out until 3 a.m. that same night was because he went with another girl. He went with another girl. So yeah. Wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck, wish me luck. Figuring out life now. Yeah, don't put it past a guy if he's cheating on you and you live together, no matter how much of a good guy you think he is. Bye, guys.
Today, I was supposed to get on a flight to London to stay with my long-distance man for 2 weeks. I am no longer going. Let's talk about it. Just a disclaimer before I get into it, like, I'm really not that active on here, and I don't usually make videos about my personal life, but something this juicy has not happened to me in so long that I have to share this. This is literally insane. Like, it's crazy. So here's some of the backstory. We met in October in Oxford while I was solo traveling there. We matched on Hinge, we went on a date, it went great, it was so much fun, and I continued traveling on and just continued to talk. It turned into like a 4-month long distance relationship type thing. He wanted to be monogamous with me, and I said yes. For about a month now, we've had this plan for me to come for 2 weeks and stay with him and spend Valentine's Day together. This is like, okay, lock in, girl. I am not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you, okay? 3 days before my flight, he cheated on me. 3 days before my flight. Not only did he cheat on me, he cheated on me with one of his best mates. Bruh. So how did I find out that this happened? So for the past 4 months, we talk every single day and we FaceTime for like hours, like every other day. So it was just one of our like regular morning calls because he's 8 hours ahead, and I answer. I had just woken up, haven't even gotten out of bed, half asleep, and I'm like, good morning, like, hi. And he's like, Ava, I have to talk to you about something. I'm like, oh, shit, fuck. And so my heart starts racing. I'm like, what? And he's like, I hooked up with last night. And I was like, did you guys fuck? And he was like, no, we made out. And then bitch, you might as well just fuck. Like, I don't care if it's dick fucking, finger fucking, you fucked her. Like, period. So as the graceful queen that I am, I said, excuse me, I need to hang up for a moment. And that was the last time I ever saw his face. I started to panic. I jumped out of bed. I had no idea what to do. And I had this flight booked that I fucking paid for, okay? That was a mistake. But anyways, he sends me $800 once I got my money and I transferred it to my bank account. I was like, thank you and goodbye. And I blocked him on everything. Before he sent me the money, he was obviously spam texting me after I hung up with him, telling me that he was going on a walk with his brother to talk about his actions. He was trying to convince me to still come, trying to set me up in a hotel. He was surprised that I told him when I was no longer coming. I'm like, bruh, you tripping. Bro was tripping, like, genuinely. And, he kept saying, it meant nothing to me. I was drunk. I was paralytic. Okay, bro, let's be real. I get drunk, like, a lot. I love to go out with my friends and drink. I'm just not a cheater, and I never would cheat. And I don't care how drunk you are. It doesn't matter. You still cheated. I'm just happy that I got my money back, and honestly, I'm happy that he told me before I got on a flight and flew 10.5 hours all the way over to see him and spend 2 weeks with him. Like, that's crazy. I don't think either of them are ever gonna see this, but I just want to say to the girl, if she ever sees this, genuinely thank you so much for helping me not waste any more time and energy on this man. Like, you are literally actually such a blessing in disguise, and I think you guys would be really cute together. Seems like you guys deserve each other. Yeah. Now, for anyone who's ever been cheated on, please don't stay. You need to leave immediately. People that cheat on others do not deserve you. Once he showed his true colors, I cut him off immediately because that's just like not part of my value system. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. It's not the end of the world, even though it might feel like it. Luckily for me, it didn't, because this was someone that I've known for only 4 months. It wasn't like I was in some long-term relationship, but like, still, no matter what, doesn't matter how long you've been with them, like, life goes on. You will be happy again, and like, you literally need to leave them. Like, don't ever take them back, no matter what they say or what they do. If you're dating someone and you learn that they have cheated in the past, you can appreciate their honesty by like telling you, but you shouldn't date them. Also, like, being betrayed at this level is so shocking, and it really like flips your sense of reality on its head. It's really disorienting. It's really scary. The trust issues that develop from it are not fun. But one thing that I've taken from this experience that I hope other people take too is that never stop keeping your heart open and being open to meeting new people and exploring connections and showing people that you care about them, love them, even if they screw you over. Because you're never gonna find your person unless you are open like that. You will attract what you give into this world, right? But also when you're caring and loving and kind, especially as a woman, there are men that just want to feed off of that. But I just don't want that to discourage anyone. If you keep being true to yourself and being open and kind and spreading your love with the world, like, you're gonna be okay. You will find your person. Anyways, yeah, that was my little story time. Hope you guys take something from this. Yeah.
All right, it's 8:45 in the morning and he's still not back from work, and I'm so scared for how he's going to react when he walks in the house and it's empty. I don't have him blocked yet. He texted me like not too long ago and he asked me how the kids were, and I just said good. And I don't know, like, I'm scared. I already know that he's gonna freak out. He's going to demand the kids, most likely. It honestly wouldn't even surprise me if he hopped in his car and tried driving to where I'm at, but I don't know. And I'm not good at freaking out. I'm nervous because I know how he's going to be, and he's going to be showing up soon. Like, I'm at work, so I don't know, but he's gonna go home soon and find out that we're not there anymore, and I'm pretty freaking nervous to see how he reacts.